name is Jill Harris. I'm the voice of Suletta Mercury in Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury, and you are listening to The Gundam Watch.
Oh, man.
Oh, I never thought I would miss the Shiro base.
Hey, I haven't swept the floors. Can you not kiss it so deeply?
But the ground is made of metal and not sand. It is solid. Look, Dallas, I can see my toes when I stand on it. You smell that? That's recycled oxygen. That isn't salty sea air. Oh, I have missed this place.
I'm glad you're enjoying being back on Shiro base, man. We've missed you here.
Good night. Has anyone seen Poufet? You know what? He's probably making himself at home. Let's just let him go. Dog's been on an island for months. He needs to experience technology again.
There you go. Give him screen time.
Man, yes. goodness. Hey, what's that over there on the console?
Oh, it's a box.
It's got your name on it.
What is this? It's a Gunpla.
Let me see. To Dallas, happy birthday.
Huh. Well, that was nice. Who did that?
It doesn't say. It's just a note.
Oh. Cool. Well, I'll put it on the console. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Gunpla database をダウンロードしました。
What is happening?
Is it supposed to do that?
No.
ローディングトールヒーズ、ウィングゼロ、バーニングガンダム、ニューミッションガンダムログ、ガンダムブレーカー4、パイロットブラウン、パイロットダラス、
I don't know what the abort button is.
What just happened?
General Romeo coming in, begin transmission. Should you accept it now, here's your mission. Take your pilot seat and turn on your television. Logging into the Gundam Watch. What is a Gundam? We're gonna answer that question. From back in the classics to the newer expansion. Explore the lore with Dallas Moore and Branson. Welcome to the Gundam Watch. Moyagare, come and join the Gundam Watch. Machiagare, come and join the Gundam Watch. Yamigaeru, come and join the Gundam Watch. Romeo, Gandamu, come and join the Gundam Watch. Brought to you by Geek Devotions comes another podcast to keep your feet in motion. Listen in close and see what's all the commotion. Logging into the Gundam Watch. Dallas and Branson bringing their fandom to you with the passion of the veteran instructing the new. We're diving deep, but this ain't B's Views and Reviews. Welcome to the Gundam Watch.
Hello, Gundam fans, and those who think they may want to become Gundam fans. Welcome to the long-anticipated return episode of the Gundam Watch. My name is Branson. I am fresh back from the island, which was an experience in and of itself. And joining with me is our slightly older but no less awesome captain of the ship, Mr. Dallas Mora.
What is up, brother? Glad to have you back on Shiro base. And man, it has been a wild wormhole event for us between this and the bottom shelf. And I'm glad to have you back here where you belong.
It feels good. It feels good. It also feels nice to not have extra appendages.
Yeah. That was a weird season of your life.
That was. I gotta say, I don't miss it. I don't miss the extra appendages. I do, however, miss John.
Oh yeah.
And it will be weird podcasting without him over here, but I am eager to hear the next episode of the bottom shelf when it drops.
Oh, it's going to be great because on the bottom shelf, the next episode drops. It's actually going to be talking about Batman from 1966.
Oh, wait, okay. And just like that, we're on the wrong podcast. All right. Before I mess this up, go ahead.
I do want to point out I know you're missing John, but we're excited to announce that John, myself, Celeste, and you will be at GeekCon this weekend, August 18th through 20th. You're going to be there various times. John's going to be there various times, and we're going to try to do some recordings from the con floor. And so there may be a special GeekCon Gundam Watch, maybe a special GeekCon. What was it? There's a show we just started.
Your friendly neighborhood spider fan.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I'm not. That's what I do when I'm not on Shiro-based handling Gundam stuff. I'm running Spider Fan.
So we're gonna have that, the bottom shelf. I think we're gonna have special episodes for everything but We Read Allegedly.
Oh. Well, to be fair, when you're on the con floor, reading is difficult.
It can be. So, you're right.
Yeah. So they would allegedly not be reading while they were at
True story. True story. Branson, what are we doing today?
We are discussing a brand new anime that has recently released based on Gunpla. Now, for listeners who may be new to the Gundam franchise and don't know what Gunpla is, Dallas, can you give us a rundown of what Gunpla actually is?
Yeah, so Gunpla basically means Gundam plastic models. They're small models. They've been around for a long time that you can build and you can snap, put together. They don't require like other model kits where there's glue and stuff like that. You don't have to do that. Now, the hardcore Gunpla builders, they'll say, well, actually, you want to, and I'm not going to get into reasons why on this show. But it's models that you build of the different Gundams, and I'm gonna say this: it is very relaxing. I've built several. I've unfortunately have not had the opportunity to build some in a couple of years, just because I don't have the time to do it. But it is a genuinely relaxing thing for me to do, to sit back and build Gunpla, and I enjoyed it quite a bit when I've had opportunity to do it. And what's cool about it though, and this is where we're gonna get into it, and I'm pulling up some data here because the Gunpla that we randomly found, I would like to know who put this here. It's loaded some new stuff into our memory banks here that we're gonna have to go through. But there's this thing called kit bashing, where you combine different Gundam kits to build your own custom. And this is kind of birthed out into there are whole animes devoted to Gunpla, not just Gunpla, but people like going into like video game modes with the Gunpla, fighting the Gunpla they built.
Very cool. That sounds a little bit like not exactly the same, but both my boys were into for a little while an anime called Bakugan.
Yeah.
And it was like robots meets Pokemon a little bit. But instead of customizing your creatures, you would collect different Bakugan and different cards that would charge them up or give them special powers.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you would battle each other. It was an anime that was definitely geared towards kids because it was trying to sell toys.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining. My boys got into it for a while there. Matter of fact, young B had a case that had like 30 something different Bakugan in it.
Oh wow!
And yeah, we played the mess out of that stuff.
That's cool.
So it sounds like that concept, but for grown-ups.
Yeah,
who actually might want to build their stuff.
I would say teenager and up, probably.
Okay.
And again, they're not necessarily built for play. There's a lot, and I will encourage you guys to go look up the Gunpla World Tournaments, because people make these dioramas that are, wow, they are amazing. Some of the work, and they come in grades. There's high grade, which is kind of your base grade that you deal with, and then they go up from there. And the higher the grade, the more complicated they are, the bigger they are in some cases. There was a weird thing. It was like there was high grade, master grade, real grade, perfect grade. And real grade was like master grade, but smaller. It was really weird. But the perfect grade, not perfect grade. I've messed this up somehow. I'm saying the wrong things. But the biggest one, I mean, you're wiring these things up for lights and sound sometimes with those higher levels, and they are massive.
This sounds like something for people who are into photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could build a diorama and then do like close-up photos. Because I know, like I've watched a couple of people build dioramas on YouTube, And that's half the fun, is setting it up and then setting up a camera and taking these pictures that look like one guy did a video of stormtroopers fighting in this like swamp area. Ultimately what it was his pond in his backyard, his little fish pond or whatever. But the way he set it up when he recorded it, it looked real.
Oh wow.
So
I think I've seen that actually.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video? There's this kid, he's like high level autistic. And he'll set up dioramas of like custom cars, old school cars, and parking lots. And he build the parking lot, and then he'll go out into public, and he position it just right and take photos like his cars are in the parking lot of the building or the lake or wherever they're at. It is beautiful work that he's done.
See, I would want to do that with like get a Gunpla and then go to the Shreveport skyline.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And make it look like the RX-78 is landing right next to the Regent's Tower.
That would be awesome. Oh man. Hey, just in case I messed it up, this is the levels, everything. There's SD, super deform, which is super basic, very few things, but they're kind of fun to make. Yeah. High grade, real grade, master grade, and then perfect grade. Yep.
Cool.
So, but that being said, according to the database, Branson, we're on a new mission, and we need to take a look at this thing called Gundam Breaker Battlogue.
All right.
And I feel like I need to do some explanation for you as we get into this.
I would appreciate that. Yeah.
So I told you there's animes for different things, right?
Yes.
For the Gunpla. Well, there's also video games.
Oh.
And there's been several. The main series is called Gundam Breaker, and they had 1 through 3, and people liked it. They're about to release 4. Fun fact: 4 is not 4. 4 is 5, but we pretend like 4 never happened, so therefore 5 is actually 4.
Oh, so this is like the Kukuru Island episode in the original Gundam. We just pretend like it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Okay. I got you.
Like 3 was apparently, I've not played 1 through 3 at all, but from what I'm told, it was absolutely amazing. And the 4th one, which is called New Gundam Breaker, was just terrible. I did play that a little bit, and the controls were wonky. It was difficult. It was hard to read the screen at times. Yeah. And so I'm super excited because we're actually going to be dropping Gundam Breaker 4 at the end of the month, which I may be picking up. And
cool.
For the first time, like, you can actually have SD Gundams in it. And
wow.
The cool thing about this is that, like in real life, where you can get different kits and bash them together, you can do that in the game.
Oh, so it's like super customizable.
To the nth degree, Branson. You can get yourself and theoretically in the game, you'll get yourself Shinlong from Wing. And you're like, but you know what? I really, really, really want to remove one of his arms. I want to replace it with maybe a Zaku arm from one of them. And so you grab that arm, but you're like, oh man, I really need the fist of a Gogu. And so you change that out. And then you're like, but I really want to have the wings of Zero, not 01, but Zero, which you haven't even seen yet. And so you attach that sucker onto there. And then you're like, but I want the core from 00 because 00 has a whole different system going on. So let me include that, which gives it new powers. All this stuff is interchangeable.
Wow.
And then you can custom paint them however you want to in game also.
And what console is this being released for?
Everything. It is being released on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch.
Switch too. Wow. Okay. My interest is piqued. I shortly before Father's Day, I got into a board game intellectual property called BattleTech, which is but it's a bunch of mechs fighting, and my son's got me the board game for it, and I've been looking into it. But one of the things you can do in the rule set is you can custom make your mechs.
Oh, that's cool.
And it has rules for how to, like what kind of engine you need, and based on how large of a mech you want, what kind of size engine you need, and
Mhm.
it's got rules for adding weapons and heat management and things like that. So it sounds very much in that vein, but it's all Gundam
Yeah.
instead of BattleTech. So I'm interested. I'm very
Cool.
interested.
Cool. Well, this anime that we're about to watch, this takes place between uh Gundam Breaker 3 and, from my understanding, Gundam Breaker 4.
Okay. So it
So
bridges
this
the two games.
basically.
Okay.
So now in Gundam Breaker 3, the basic story is you play a character who comes into a town and there's a local hobby shop,
Mhm.
and this corporation wants to shut it down. So you help them to basically grow the community. You win the great Gundam Breaker tournament and you save the day. That's basically what takes place.
Okay.
This anime takes place a few months after that event, after
Okay.
the closing events. Now, on the official website, I want to encourage you guys, Gundam.info. This is what they say about the story we're about to watch, which is called Gundam Breaker Battlogue. And we're going to be watching episodes 1 through 3, which were released on YouTube this past week. And it says this. Oh, these are short episodes. After intense fighting, the Gunpla Battle U.S. Championship enters its final round. Here, the figure of a certain fighter appears. A few months later, Misa Satsusukina, building a new Gunpla, is in the Ayato shopping street, which is where the third game, seems to be in a worse mood than usual. As an outlet for her unfocused anger, she sets her completed Gunpla in a simulator and enters battle, but the Gunpla is suddenly restrained. On the eve of the huge Fiesta event, the fates of the Gunpla fighters are at a crucial juncture.
Ooh.
So that's what we're about to watch, Branson.
All right. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. So, all right. Well, I know it's been a while, Branson.
Uh-huh.
Your pod is down the hall to the right.
Okay.
We hopefully Poofy didn't do anything in there since he got off on the ship.
You know what? It'll remind me of days gone by. It'll be okay. It'll be nostalgic. It'll be nostalgic.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head off to the pods for our expectations.
Here we go. Oh, man. I have not been in this pod in a long time. Oh, it still fits the shape of my butt. Wow. Okay. I digress. Okay. Firing up the quesadilla maker. Oh, man. I haven't had one of these in forever. All right. Let me think. Expectations about the new Gundam anime. I expect for it to be a lot like some of those other animes that were specifically designed to sell toys, like Bakugan, and I think Digimon was kind of in that vein too. So it's going to be a lot of product placement, but no less entertaining. I kind of like the idea of being able to custom make Gundams. So that's going to be something fun to watch. Yeah. I don't think it'll be as serious as some of the other Gundams because it's more about a game. But I don't know. That might be a breath of fresh air. That might be fun to have a Gundam that's a little more fun and lighthearted than one that's all about the deep effects of war. But yeah. All right. Enough talk. Let's get this party started.
All right, back in the pod. Man, I've missed this. Let's see here. Get myself some tacos. There we go. Get a little bit of popcorn for the side. Get some horchata. All right, ready to go. So, Battlogue, expectations. Let's see here. I know it's connected to Gundam Breaker 4. I don't know how. I know it's also connected to Gundam Breaker 3, like it's after it. So, there's probably a lot of story I'm going to be missing. But at the same time, this is a Gunpla anime, right? So I'm hoping to see some really unique builds within this. I'm hoping to see some interesting action take place. Obviously, I really enjoy the Gunpla animes. I don't know why. I think they're fun. I think they're exciting. And I really think Branson's going to enjoy this too, hopefully. So, all right. Well, let's hit play. All right.
Whoa.
Well, Branson, you okay, bud?
Yeah, good.
I don't know how to measure that response.
Big robots go boom.
Yes, they do, Branson. Yes, they do.
That was enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a whole lot more than I thought I would.
Really?
I did. I said this in the expectations. I kind of expected it to be along the lines of Bakugan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got these stories and they got the stuff, but the point of the show is to sell you the toy or
Right.
to sell you the model, the Gunpla.
Right.
And so I expected that, there's this whole plot about, look, you have to get this special arm and make sure you hold it still as you connect it, and that kind of thing. But the story and the plot was actually, it was very involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they spent more time on the Gunpla fighting than they did on building the Gunpla.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like a
commercial.
overglorified toy commercial. Right. Right. It actually felt like there was thought put into the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also weird because it's the first Gundam I've ever seen where war is not the point of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it truly is. It's just it's a tournament. It's a game. And I don't know. It gave it a lighter feel.
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate the heaviness of the other shows that we've watched that wrestle with the horrors of war and things like that, and explores them. I mean, I think that those are important, but because the others are so heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and this one feels so lighthearted, it's a nice change. It's a nice change in a way that the what was it called, the pilot that never was, with the SD short Gundams that we talked about.
Yeah.
Zero bots, Zeta bots.
What were they called?
I can't remember. The one where the big bad Gundams were coming to take away all the joy in the world, and so the SD Gundams went to stop them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was called. I can't even find it. It's been erased from the databases. Doozy bots or something like that. I'll pull up our archives while you talk about it. But go on.
Somebody dumpster fire that one. But that tried to be Gundam lighthearted, and I think it and I think we made this point when we watched it. It seems like people didn't really get what Gundam was about when they made that. They just wanted to use the images. But this feels like they understood what Gundam is about. They just took it in a different direction.
It's called Doozy Bots.
Doozy bots. Wow.
And they were a doozy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they were a doozy. But yeah, this what's it called? Battlogue? Gundam Breaker Battlogue?
Yeah.
It was enjoyable because you got the fighting of the Gundams themselves, like you get in the other shows, but because it's a tournament, because it's a game, and it's kids who are playing a game instead of kids going to war.
Right.
There was a lightheartedness about it that was refreshing.
Yeah, definitely. This is since we started this show, Branson, I've been really several times I've gone, hey man, you need to check out, and I'll list out like shows like Gundam. Oh gosh, now my brain's not even functioning right now. Gundam Build Divers and stuff like that. those are shows that are based around Gunpla. And they are all based around like, hey, they're having a tournament. Okay, here's a list. Yeah, it's Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, Gundam Build Divers, but they're all based around the idea of a tournament or there's a game. There's one called Gundam Build Fighters Try, Gundam Build Fighters. There was a Metaverse one also, and it again because I know you, I know the storytelling that you enjoy. You enjoy the stuff that's very wholesome, very you know, at the end of the day, it's like you almost expect somebody to come over, like, "Come here, kid, let me teach you a lesson," type of thing, right? Not quite that far, but that's like the feel, the vibe.
And now a
And
message from Gundam Wing.
Yeah. I just picture this like Zero coming down and put his leg up. He's like, "Come here, kid, let me tell you a story."
So, you messed up. You're in detention.
Gosh almighty. Here's a little Xeon guy trying to like steal like a stick of gum. He's like, "Hey, don't do that, Johnny." And why is this still better than Doozy Bots? I don't know.
True that. True that.
I've asked you. I pointed this out to you because I really feel like you enjoy this because they do. They bring a lighter feel to it. Again, I love the heaviness and the realities of certain things that they bring with the mainline Gundam series. But these things there's a level of levity that I feel like we need in life sometimes.
Yeah.
And they teach good lessons. A lot of it's like, the power of friendship type of stuff that takes place. But I don't know, when I watch them, I smile. I enjoy them. There's one called Gundam Build Metaverse we'll talk about at some point, I'm sure, when we down the road with the show. But it's like you have these 3 Gunpla builders, and they are taking this secret mission, doing something, and there's something mysterious happening, everything like that. But there's this whole world development of developing who these characters are, building their confidence and stuff like that. And there's a level of joy to it, just like you said. And in this, like, even though like this hit hard pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like it got pretty serious pretty quickly, but there was still some levity to it.
Yeah. Well, it's serious in the competitive like tournament seriousness, not serious as in entire colonies being destroyed by a ship imploding type thing, like
typical Tuesday in a normal
right
series.
right like the original Mobile Suit, it opened with the destruction of a colony. Like first 10 seconds a colony explodes to explain that we're in the middle of a war. This one, first 10 seconds you're in the middle of a competition between 2 kids.
Yeah.
Or I say they're kids, teenage-esque. Sometimes it's hard to gauge ages in anime. But the stakes are a tournament.
Right.
And while the way they play it up in the show, it's no less important. You feel invested in what's going on. It's still not millions of people died when this happened. It is, oh no, I am forever shamed because I am second place in the league. And it reminded me a lot of, like I said, of that kind of thing, like with Pokemon or Bakugan or what was another one that I watched that was like that? The very much the I'm gonna make a lot of people mad. Shonen manga. Is that right? Shonen manga?
Yeah.
Where the antagonist is a teenage boy who desires to be the best of something. And those are ultimately the stakes behind the story. It's not that he's trying to save anyone. He's not trying to defeat a dark emperor. He's not trying to save a planet. He's just, he wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is, oh wait, sorry, wrong anime. But you know what I mean? It's the show treats it seriously, and it's not making fun of that, but there's still a light sense of, okay, well, if he loses, he's just ashamed that he lost. It's not a, well, if you lose, people die. And And the fact that the villain is a mysterious guy in a mask who randomly shows up. I mean, that's like the go-to thing for a lot of the younger anime that I've seen. Is it's always a mysterious villain. He's always wearing a mask, and at first he always seems way OP.
Right.
Like the hero can do nothing against him. And
do you want to know what that villain's name is?
yes, I do.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Masked Man.
I love it.
Masked Man.
I am Masked Man.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's funny stuff.
Yes.
So, but yeah, man. Well, let's jump into a little bit more, man. Let's talk about the story and talk about what's going on. We open up. You mentioned before, and we have the first episode's called First Contact. The description of it is the final round of the Gunpla Battle U.S. Championship. With mixed feelings, Misa watches her former teammate who is fighting with eyes of the world upon him. Later enters the Gunpla at the Iroto Game Park. Misa begins her own battle to let off some steam. However, dun dun dun. And so the however is she does well. She gets in there. She starts doing some good stuff. And then all of a sudden the sky cracks and things take place.
Yes.
So just for a second, Branson, what were your thoughts on this little event taking place here? And do you have any questions about what you saw?
I think I was following pretty well. I got that this was like a VR video game world. And I actually liked the interaction between the girl and her opponent because she realized she was fighting against someone who was like a pro level and she was amateur. And when she beat her, there was this like respect of, oh wow, you just beat me. My hat's off to you. And her response isn't, yeah, that's right, I did. Her response is, well, that's only because I had the right terrain. And, if we'd have been in a different terrain, you would have won. There's this like mutual respect that they have for each other, which is neat. And I think that further illustrates just how off things are when the villain sends his missiles down and does that because he doesn't have that same respect for the others. I liked that interaction because it contrasted the interaction with the villain so much. Now, if I remember correct, her Gundam got locked or stolen or something. The missiles shut it, like created these cages around it. And made it her Gundam to where it couldn't move. And the villain said, "Bring so and so to the tournament, or else." Am I supposed to know who that is, or like is that from the game, or is that specific to this show?
I think it was the guy. Well, I don't know. I'm really not sure who that is. Again, I've not played the original games, but I think it was like the dude from the opening of the game,
the guy who won
the anime.
The guy who won.
I think so.
All right. Now, does this take place in Japan or in the United States?
Well, it's the U.S. Open, so I'm going to say this takes place in the States.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That was a little confusing because I'm watching it in Japanese, but they keep talking about the U.S. tournament. I'm like, where are we here?
yeah. I totally. it was like what's happening here? What are we doing here, guys? And
but,
so,
to be fair, the Japanese probably feel the same way when they watch an American movie that's supposed to be taking place in Japan and everyone's speaking English.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not what we say. Oh my goodness gracious. Cool beans. So the things are engaging her.
Yes.
That was an interesting moment for me. Because those are runners in Gunpla.
Oh, really?
Those are the things that you have to take nippers to cut off to take off the pieces and put things back together. So when he was stealing them and how the pieces went dormant, it was like he reattached the runners.
Oh, so it was like they were back in the package.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And so, but because they were in runners, he was able to, well, we'll get into it later. But yeah, that's what was taking place there.
Oh, okay. And that explains why she was immobilized, because it was like her. And I also noticed that the parts went gray, like they weren't painted anymore.
Yep.
That explains it. See, that is good advertising, because what I was essentially seeing an advertisement for Gunpla, and it was so deep level that I didn't even catch that it was an advertisement. Like, I thought these were just cages, but it's like, no, this is what it looks like when you take it out of the package.
Yep.
That's pretty ingenious.
It's pretty cool, man, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue on episode 2. GB Fest begins. At last, the Gunpla Battle event known as GB Fest. I just realized when I read the description of this, the whole thing, I read Festa, F-E-S-T-A. There's a typo on the website for Gundam info. It's like Festa. Anyways, GB Fest has opened. The venue is filled with people, and a long line forms at the booth for the main attraction, a special event battle. In the line are Ryusa, Sana, and Toma. Can't say names. Each of them are with high expectations in their hearts as they prepare to test their strength of the new Gunpla they built.
Cool.
All right, so this is a interesting one. Again, they're in line, they're getting ready to go, and homegirl, she loads in first, and I want to talk about this because I got so excited. She loads in on her own. Again, her teammates are coming in, and the first thing that happens is she fights a custom Tallgeese.
I saw that. As soon as it pops up, I was like, "Ooh, Tallgeese!"
Yep,
That's Dallas's.
I think it's the Tallgeese 2, actually, which would be the one that I'm trying to pull up the image of it, but it'd be the one that Trace Kushinaga pilots. So I was did you here's a question. Did you happen to recognize the terrain that they were fighting in? Because this was really cool for me too.
Looks very earthy.
It's Jaburo.
Oh, really?
This was Jaburo, where the original Gundam series, it's like the halfway point where they go back into space.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now that you called my attention to it, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. See, that makes me want to go back and watch the original all over again. It's been
exactly.
Too long.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm like, I know this one. I know that. Like in the water, there was the Gogus and everything like that. They were attacking her, and then you had Tallgeese come out of nowhere.
Right.
Right. You know, she was piloting what appears to be a strike custom. I think it's called pull up the database here. Gundam Perfect Strike Freedom. And the description of it is the Gunpla based on Strike Freedom Gundam, which includes the functionality of Perfect Strike Gundam, which is a different Gundam. Its sword and launcher use a connection gimmick that enables the more powerful shooting and close combat attacks. So that's what she's piloting. And I meant to say this also. In the previous one, the one that the girl was using, it's called Blazing Gundam. Just as the Rising Gundam, which is from Mobile G Fighter, which is the most racist Gundam, but it's fun.
Is that the one with like the American football Gundam?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Tequila Gundam from Mexico. And the Japanese Squirrel for Japan. And the Windmill Gundam for Denmark. There's a horse Gundam in it, Branson. A horse Gundam. Drew wants to guest on that when we talk about that one. So, anyways, just as Rising Gundam is a sibling machine to the Shining Gundam, this Gunpla is customized with the concept of a sibling machine to the God Gundam. The weight of the ultra fast close combat machine is drastically reduced from the base God Gundam. All right, so that's that, right? So she's fighting Tallgeese. All of a sudden, out of the sky, like a great white knight, I get excited about it. They call it the Gundam Live Lance Heaven, based on
Yes.
Gundam Death Sight Hell, which is the upgraded version of Death Sight from Gundam Wing.
Yes.
And so
I gotta say, of all the Gundams that showed up in the show, this one was my favorite.
Really?
Yes, it was. Now I recognized the scythe, which was cool. But the thing I thought that was really cool about it was those things that they look like wings,
Yeah.
but they wrap around them and make like a shield.
Mm-hmm.
That was really neat to me. Like that looked really cool. That he had this like built-in armor that folded around him, but then when it opened back up, it had this wing look to it.
Right.
That was cool. I like because you've told me that you can customize things. I'm already like thinking about taking something with that in mind, wings that can become armor, but then trade out the scythe for like a sword.
Oh yeah.
But not a beam saber, like an actual like, claymore type sword weapon thing.
Right. Well, this is the description of this one.
All right.
Based on the Gundam Death Sight Hell, this Gunpla is customized with a design and coloring reminiscent of an angel, the exact opposite of the original Grim Reaper motif. Its unfolding active cloak turns into 6 huge wings.
Yeah.
Branson, how many wings do angels have?
6.
There you go.
That's right. One to cover the face, one to cover the feet, and one to fly with.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sending you, Branson, the a link so you can check out the thing when it's done up properly. But man, when that popped out, I was like, I genuinely enjoyed seeing a custom version of that, and that highlights the beauty of Gunpla. Is it's really not that different. There's a few things that are different about it, but a lot of it's just colorized and everything differently, and that's the kind of the beauty of the world that of Gunpla is you can take your base thing, and a lot of people like me, the ones I did, I kept it base. I did exactly how I wanted it to be. But you can get so creative with these stuff and create things that are just different.
See, I'm sitting here looking at what you just sent me. I'm like, that just looks awesome. That just looks awesome. Instead of a scythe, give that guy a giant flaming sword, and you have a Gundam based on the Archangel Michael. I mean that's the stuff of legend right there.
Right. Cool beans. All right, and so then later we have another Gundam come up called Gundam Helios. Gundam created by combining elements of different Gundams. This is a complete kit bash. And I could try naming all those things. It looks like there's a little bit of the original Strike in this, maybe a little bit of Gundam Age in it. I'm not really sure what else whatever he's done, but it says the name is after the sun god Helios due to the appearance when it deploys huge wings and releases its fins, and is dazzling radiance emitted from the clear parts all over its body. So, what do you think of that episode? Now that you have a run by of those Gundams.
Oh, I enjoyed it. This was the episode where I was like, oh, this is why this is cool. Okay, I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first episode was neat to have that. They have that quick little battle, but then to see like all those Gundams, all those nods to other Gundams, and to see the way they battle each other, it was just really really cool, really enjoyable. Like I said, I enjoyed seeing the what was it called, Heavenly Lance, Live Lance Heaven.
Yeah,
I enjoyed seeing that one in action. I thought Helios was cool. Perfect Strike Freedom gave me strong Zero vibes, mostly because of the coloration and just the fact that it's got wings coming off of it.
Right. Now you on the side been watching Seed, right?
Yes, I haven't watched all of season 1 yet, but I was trying to get it. I was trying to get it all watched in time for the movie, and I just didn't.
It's good.
Didn't get to it.
Strike Freedom is from Seed.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Cool. That's another one we need to pick up later.
Yeah.
We have plans, ladies and gentlemen.
This is gonna happen, folks.
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right, cool. So this was the episode that made you go, man, this is cool. This is neat, right?
Yes.
Right.
Because I saw each of these Gundams were so vastly different. Their fighting styles were so vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely see how it lends itself to customization, especially now that you've told me that this is something that Gunpla people do, is they take different parts and stick them together and make their own. And I'm all like, I want to play.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Cool beans. Well, so the second episode got you hooked. Third
Yes.
episode, though, something happens. This is episode 3, Menace of the Runner Prison. During the event battle of GB Fest, the sudden appearance of a masked man throws the venue into an uproar. The Gunpla are rendered helpless in a mysterious runner prison system this man controls. Ryusei, Sana, and Tuma manage to avoid it, but then the masked man unleashes an even more astonishing move against the trio. Dun, dun, dun.
Da-da-da-da.
All right, Branson, what did you think about this?
Honestly, the first thought I had was, oh, look, Ganondorf is in Gundam.
That's fair. That's fair.
But just the sheer size of it was humongous. It's the first four-legged Gundam I'd ever seen. So,
Yeah.
but honestly, that makes sense. If you have mobile suits that are, especially some of the was it the original Gundam or Gundam Wing? It's been so long now, I can't remember. They had like crustacean themed mobile suits.
Yeah, that was in the original Gundam.
In the original Gundam. And so it would make sense that if you have like animal themed Gundams, you could have Gundams based off of like centaurs or minotaurs, or they wouldn't have to all be humanoid forms. They could be animalistic forms,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think now that I think about it, in Seed they had mobile suits that looked like big cats, like
Mm-hmm.
leopards or tigers or something
They did
that ran
indeed.
around the desert. Yeah. So this is neat to kind of see them stretch out in that direction.
Yeah.
To not feel locked into, well, it has to look like a person.
Right.
So that it looks like a cool villain to fight. The fact that it is so massive, and this is how many episodes are supposed to be in this series?
Well, it's 2 episodes that you and I are watching, but where they combined 3 short episodes together each.
Oh,
So
okay.
6 altogether.
So at the end of this round, we're essentially halfway through the story.
Right.
Okay, then I take back what I was going to say. I was going to say this seems like it's really early to bring in something this massive. But if this is the halfway point of the whole story, that actually makes sense.
Yeah. So this one is called the Gundam that Branson's talking about. For context, the masked man who is imprisoning everybody in runners, he seems to have the ability to, after he imprisons your Gunpla, to dismantle your Gunpla and bash it together to make other ones that are powerful in different ways.
Yeah.
And so after our Gundam build fighters here, I'm calling them that, they're not that, but after they defeat the first round, he just combines everything on the field and he builds what's called the Gundam Barbatos, which is a Gunpla customized with Gundam Barbatos, which is from Gundam Iron Blooded Orphan, connecting 2 Gundam frames together. Now the frame is the inside; it's like the skeleton of the Gundam. Together, transformed into a 4-legged silhouette with a centaur motif.
Yes.
And it is intimidating when it comes out.
It is. It does. Like I said, it's like Ganondorf showed up in or is it Ganon? I
Ganon.
always get Ganon. Yes, okay. Ganon showed up in Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
Because he looked menacing. He did.
It was pretty wild, dude, for a hot minute. I was really like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm thinking of a Hyrule themed Gundam suit. And like, give it green with golden trim, have Triforces all over it. Its blade could be reminiscent of okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I may have started something I shouldn't have. Dear Branson's wife, I'm sorry for your budget and your husband's new obsession. Because I'm telling you, Branson, this gets wild. Now, just so you know, Branson, if you just want to get started, on the Gundam Info website, you can pick up a pre-built Gundam Lance Heaven. For only 2,000 yen.
Okay, for those of us not living in Japan, how much is that? How much is that?
It's like $13.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's a high grade, tax included. Yeah. Now you got to find it. You got to be able to get it here stateside, so there might be some shipping costs there.
Right.
But it's a high grade. They just put it out there. They also have the Gundam Barbatorus. They have the Perfect Strike. They have Blazing Gundam, and several others. There's one that I'm seeing that I'm just like, I really need to see what's happening with this one. But yeah, man, it's pretty wild.
It's fun. It's lots of fun. Maybe I should get the video game first so I can do it digitally.
It will be cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like $60, and then you get all the Gundams at one time.
Yeah. Instead of 20 here, 30 there, 50 there.
So, but there is something I'm telling you, like the depending on what it is, like the high grades, there may be if you're taking your time, 2-3 hour build.
Yeah.
But there is something to cutting them out, panel lining them, shaving down portions, put them together, and just putting everything together. There's something about taking the time to do that that genuinely, like Celeste is actually kind of upset that I don't do it more often because she knows it was genuinely a relaxing thing for me. But it's something you can get very, very deep into. Oh my gosh.
We should have Gunpla parties.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Just have a giant empty table with snacks and Gunpla and T-Bone playing in the background.
Let's go. My man brought out T-Bone. Let's go. T-Boney Bone Corione. Dude, gospel, alpha, mega, funky boogie, disco music sound. Oh man.
Hang on, y'all. Dallas will come back in a second. He's gone on a journey.
No, it's gonna be on my playlist tomorrow. No, all right, so Brian, so let's bring this down, man. What are your final thoughts on not just the mini, because this was like 20 minutes to watch these 3 episodes all together. What are your thoughts on this and also on the Gunpla you saw?
The show itself, like I said, was a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be. I had a lot of fun watching it. It is definitely one of those shows that it is fun to watch. It doesn't make you sit down and think about the state of man and where we are and how close we are to destroying each other. It's just pure fun, which I enjoyed. The Gunpla in it, especially knowing that the whole idea was customization, that they grab different parts from different things, and you've got a whole sandbox of Gundam suits to play with. Was really cool. Like I said, I really liked Livelance Heaven and just the whole concept of wings becoming armor. As mentioned before, it's ignited me to want to play around with ideas about customizing things. I really want to make this Hyrule themed Gundam suit a thing now. Or hey, a little crossover, I could make a Spider-Man themed Gundam.
Nice.
To show off on Spider-Fan.
Do it.
Okay, I'm having too much fun with this now. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, Dallas. Thank you. My mind's going to be going, ooh, I can make this Gundam and this Gundam.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. But no, all in all, I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the next set to come out. I think it's gonna be fun. And I'm gonna have to look really hard at this video game. I haven't bought a brand new full price video game in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on where things land, I may have to break that streak.
I understand. I'm legitimately like making plans not to do certain things during GeekCon so I can make sure I get this game.
Noted.
So, and I just checked the website, and sure enough, it's PC, PlayStation, PS4, and Switch.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Xbox, but it's not. And there's the Ultimate Edition, there's a Collector's Edition, and there's a digital version. The digital, and there's Launch Edition and Digital Standard. So the Standard Edition, that you get off a Steam store, if you want to do Steam on your PC, is $60.
Okay.
And the Deluxe Edition is $90. The Ultimate Edition is $99.
Wow, what's in the Ultimate Edition that makes it $100?
I don't know. Let me see. All right, Digital Ultimate Edition. Oh, hold on. Let me compare it. All right, Standard Edition comes with Gundam Breaker 4 base game. Pre-order now and get the following bonus content: early unlock to the Gundam RX-78 recirculated color, and 6 builder parts. Then these are things you have to collect in the game. Okay. You get the Digital Ultimate Collection, though. You get the base game. You get deluxe bonus Gunpla parts, early unlock, 15 base kits. You get the season pass, which includes 5 story missions, season pass bonus, sets of parts to recreate the Gun Barrel Strike Gundam Breaker version. You get a diorama pack set, 4 diorama packs, diorama pack set bonus. And if you pre-order, you also get the unlock of RX-78 and six builder parts.
Now, is this stuff that you can eventually unlock in the game anyway, and you just get it early, or is this stuff you only get if you?
I'm pretty sure it's stuff that you can get in game as you play. It's just one of those things where you have to grind to make it happen.
Yeah,
and do certain things. And so now again, there are other things. There's the Launch Edition, which comes with like a poster, and you actually get an actual Gunpla with it.
Oh, cool.
In a reversible color. There's a Collector's Edition that comes with the physical game, digital soundtrack with 45 tracks of the game. You get an actual Gunpla. You get builder packs. You get RX-78 recolor, exclusive steelbook, pre-order bonus stuff, exclusive poster, and a reversible cover art.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So those are all things that take place.
So depending on how hardcore of a collector you are, you could really get some stuff.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Cool beans. Well, I think it's safe to say that Branson and I have both thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yes, sir.
Branson, how would you feel about doing? Because the reality is that the second episode of this is dropping, I think, at the same time as this episode drops.
Oh, nice.
So, because I think I'm putting this out on Thursday. So,
all right.
How would you feel about doing a special GeekCon edition review of the second half of this?
I think that would be amazing.
Live from the con floor instead of Shiro Base, ladies and gentlemen. Check us out. We're going to be
one recommendation.
Yes.
Let's make sure the audio actually records this time.
Yeah, we did have a problem with that one time, didn't we?
It was a great conversation that no one will ever know about.
Oh, man. It solved all the world problems.
Oh, man. I was in tears.
Yeah. I mean, like the crowd would submit and all. A hush fell over the con floor at the words you spoke, Branson. It was just beautiful.
I know. It was amazing.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to move on to
Cruise maintenance reports now loading in 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our maintenance reports. This is part of the show where Branson and I take something from the show and we use it to let you know that you're loved, you're cared for, there's a plan and purpose for your life, and that Jesus loves you. So, Mr. Boykin,
yes,
you
sir.
got anything for us?
I do. In the second episode, when we meet the three main contenders for the first time, they release their teammates in at timed intervals, so they don't all go in at once. And the girl, I don't know her name. I don't know any of their names, honestly. I'll figure that out later. But the girl goes in first, and she's all excited, and she launches into the arena, and she's fighting all kinds of Gundams, and then she finds herself in a situation where she's overzealous. She gets in over her head. She's about to get sliced open, and then the Live Lance Heaven shows up and rescues her. And he goes through, and they're both fighting together. They're going through and beating Gundams and all that. And then he says, "Oh, it looks like I got too overzealous," and he's in a bad situation. And then all of a sudden, Helios shows up and saves him. And so now they're all fighting together. And this is all before the masked man shows up. But it was interesting because they went in at timed intervals, and you saw that they were all formidable fighters. They all could stand pretty well on their own, but all of them ended up in situations where they needed someone to bail them out, and their friends always showed up at just the right time, at just the right moment to rescue them. And that got me to thinking in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25, it says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." So the writer of Hebrews, who we don't actually know who he is, he's writing to Hebrew believers, and he's giving them instruction and trying to encourage them and that kind of thing. And he encourages them to lift each other up, stir each other up, and to meet on a regular basis. And I don't want to be one of those people that says you need to have your butt in church on Sunday morning, because I get that there's a resistance to that. But the point that the author of Hebrews is making is that the Christian life is not something that was intended to be a solo adventure. This isn't something you're supposed to do on your own. This isn't even something that you're supposed to do on your own with just Jesus and that's it. As my pastor from high school used to always say, there's no such thing as Lone Ranger Christians. Christian life was meant to be done in community. It was meant to be done with other believers in community that can encourage you and lift you up, that you can in turn encourage them and lift them up, and all of you working together help you hold fast to the faith that we're supposed to follow. And especially in a post-COVID world where we have perfected the art of Zoom calls and live streaming services and things like that. And I'm not knocking live stream services. I think for people who are shut in, or people who are sick and otherwise can't participate in the services, live streaming is a great way for them to participate. But then when you have people that is the only way they participate, they don't feel the need to be with the body of Christ because they're just watching TV. And their attitude is, I have been to church because I have watched the church of which I am a member. I have watched my pastor teach. And so I'm good. I've remembered the Sabbath, so to speak. I've gone to church. I've done my Christian discipline. And the thing is, going to a church service, while teaching is an important aspect of it, part of it is being with other believers. Part of it is seeing people that you haven't seen in a while and saying, "Hey, how you doing? How, what can I pray for you this week? I heard your uncle was sick. How is he better? Hey, last time we saw each other, you were pretty shaken up about some stuff. Is that any better? Just having people care about you and love on you, having people where you can go to and say, "Hey guys, I've got stuff going on," and it's vitally important because that is how we stay in the faith. That is how we grow.
Mm.
That is how we encourage each other until the day that the Lord returns. Uh, I've said this before. I've got a men's group that I meet with uh, twice a month. That's connected to my church, and when I when I miss a church service, either because we're traveling or someone's sick, I notice that I don't see it. But I just kind of rock and roll and everything's fine. When I miss one of those men's group gatherings, I feel it. Like I can tell that I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that what the writer of Hebrews is trying to tell us, and I think what we can learn from this situation is when you have other believers around you, when you surround yourself with people who can encourage you and you can in part encourage them, it makes you stronger than you would be by yourself.
Yeah.
And that is something that you just can't do on your own. And especially, that's something especially hard, I think, for American Christians because we're so individualistic. We
Mm-hmm.
have this mindset of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and work
Mm-hmm.
hard. And, but I did this on my own, self taught, self made. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the way God designed the Christian life. I mean, even when Jesus did his ministry, he called 12 disciples to be with him.
Yeah.
When he sent the disciples out, he sent them out in groups, not by themselves. And when we see uh, disciples go off by themselves, Jesus usually brings someone there with him. Even Peter, when he decides he's going to go fishing after he denies Jesus and he feels like he's not really allowed to be a disciple anymore, when he goes fishing, other disciples go with him. They won't let him be by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something that's important, especially in these days where being a follower of Jesus isn't always popular. Being a follower of Jesus genuinely earns you scorn. Uh, it's important to have a group of people that you can gather together with, and be like, "Hey guys, can y'all pray for me?" Or can we talk about something? Can y'all help me with this situation?
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, just as a reminder that you're not doing this by yourself. You've got people that God has put in your life to help you out. I mean, I just think about the Geek Devotions community and the number of times people have brought prayer requests to us and we've been able to pray for them, and they'll come back and say, "Wow, the Lord really moved." It's a community of believers that we're just able to help each other out.
Yeah.
And I saw that in the second episode, and it made me think of this scripture verse.
I love that. I love it. Honestly, I saw something I saw kind of the same lines with you, man, and that was actually gonna be mine. But I was coming out of Ecclesiastes 4:12, and it says, "And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken." And of course, homegirl, she comes right out the gate, and she's struggling, and she's like,
Mhm.
"I can't be out before my teammates get here." And so she's fighting, and then of course they all come together, and that's really a great picture of life of. And I want to encourage some of you guys, you're out there and you're just trying to make it on your own. And um, stop.
Yeah.
Like you need people in your life to help you, to encourage you, to walk alongside you when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling alone. Um, I have seen too many lives disappear because somebody wasn't willing to say, "I need help."
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, my pastor was talking about the whole thing about being resilient. And what does that mean? To be for men to be resilient. And he goes, "Let me tell you something. It's not being resilient doesn't mean you just grit your teeth and you just don't let anybody know what's going on." Because and there's a season sometimes or two where you got to do that, but it's being resilient means you take care of things. You take care of and you do it in an appropriate way. If that means bringing in people to help you walk this out, do it. There, this whole idea of not just the Lone Ranger Christian, which I think is a completely demonic thing, but this whole idea of men have to just show no emotions. They always got to be tough. They can't do anything. They always got to do it by themselves. Guys, that's just wrong. We are created to be in community, to have people alongside of us. There's a reason why Jesus sent his disciples in groups of 2.
Amen.
And so, honestly, those of you listening, if you've been alone, if you feel like you're on your edge, reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit us up on the socials for the Gundam Watch. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we're on X Threads or whatever it is. X. We may start a Threads later as X dies out, or hit us up on Geek Devotions.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us up on the Discord. Let us know how we can encourage you, how we can pray with you. Sometimes it's best just to have somebody listen to you.
And especially if you find yourself at GeekCon this weekend.
Yeah.
We've got a booth. I mean, nothing would thrill us more than the ability to meet you in person.
Yeah.
And pray with you in person. I mean, I know that the years past where I've helped out with the booth, that's been my favorite part. When people come up and tell me stuff and have been like, "Oh, well, let me pray for you."
Yeah.
Let me talk to you about. I mean, yeah, fandoms are cool, and that's part of the reason why we're there.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a really cool Spider-Man outfit, come by the booth. I want to see it. But the whole reason we're there is so we can love people, let them know they're not alone, and being on the con floor gives us a chance to do that in person. I mean, don't get me wrong, social media is cool for that kind of stuff, but there's just something about seeing a person face to face, flesh and blood.
Definitely.
That's really special.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. So I think we've said all that needs to be said.
I think so.
Like Branson said, guys, if you're in the area, if you're in Shreveport Bossier, come up to GeekCon, come by our booth, say hi. Branson will be there a few times. I think you're gonna plans to be there most of Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be my day to be around for extended periods of time. The first 2 days, I'm going to be hanging out with my kiddos.
Yeah,
and chasing them around. But
being a dad,
Sunday will be my day to be locked in and ready.
He's gonna locked in. That was funny. And then John's gonna be there, guys. Also from and then Celeste and I are gonna be there. And it's again, we're on the floor to love people, to encourage people, to just be a space to listen for a while and to encourage you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, come by. Let's chat with you for a little bit. Decompress. We were able to be a safe place for several people last year, and it was great. Yes, we're going to have merch there. We have some new shirts that we're selling, and we would love for you to buy them. But the point is for us to love you, to be present with you guys there. So, all right, Branson, let's land this plane. Anything you want to promote?
We alluded to it a little while ago, but I want to mention again, I have a new podcast called the Friendly Neighborhood Spider Fan Podcast.
Yes.
It is a podcast that combines spider fandom with saving faith. And basically, I read Spider-Man comics, and then I talk about Jesus, my 2 favorite subjects ever to talk about. So check that out. I'm on everywhere that Geek Devotions is, I'm there too. Yeah. So check that out. And I should have a new episode dropping, actually, I think the same day as this one. Oh, it dropped yesterday.
Yeah, it dropped yesterday.
Oh,
this is dropping on Thursday.
Okay. So just so y'all know, I record and edit the episode, and then Dallas handles all the social media stuff. So if it sounds like I don't know anything about my own podcast, that's partially true. That's partially true. But y'all check that out, especially if you're Spider-Man fans, and reach out to me through the socials, and let's geek out together about Spider-Man and Jesus.
Word. I love it. And for me, guys, just check us out, Geek Devotions, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Threads, and also follow the Gundam Watch on Facebook and Instagram and on X right now. Again, we may start a Threads. I want to hear from you guys. Where are you guys at on social media? But connect with us in the Discord. That's where our community is at most of the time, is on the Discord. And in the Facebook group, Devoted Geek Life. Let us know how we encourage you, how we can pray with you. Until next time, stay devoted.
Peace and love.